And welcome to Bell TV1's coverage of the 2017 USports Final 8 men's basketball bronze medal game. It's a good game today featuring the McGill Redmen, the RSEQ champions, taking on the AUS champs and hosts, the Dalhousie Tigers, live from the Scotiabank Center in Halifax. My name's Alan April, joined here now by Adam Detien. And Adam, we mentioned these are two very good teams. They had some difficult matchups in the semifinals, Carleton and Ryerson, but both teams played hard and made a game out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Showed well. Semifinals were very, very exciting. McGill battled Carleton is just on a mission, and they're going to try to complete that after this game. But this McGill team, Coach Smart said it in the halftime interview, they're the toughest defensive matchup they played all year long. The biggest thing is for McGill offensively, they couldn't get their production. Delio Gandoka battling that ankle injury, only 10 points. He's been good at times, but he's been hobbled at times. And the thing is for him, trying to get in, he was the offensive guy for them. He was the defensive player of the year in the RSEQ. He did it all. So if he's half speed, it's going to be tough. Leung was good. He has a spark plug, 13 points. Check out a little bit of Leung's work here. You know, this guy, he's just a nice little shooter, was a quick guard. He's assumed some of the defensive responsibility of chasing ball screens, trying to get in some passing lanes. He's doing some stuff, but he's going to have to deal with, talk about a passer, Ritchie, Kanza. You know, they held him scoreless in the first half last night. That was a big plus right there. Came on for 9 in the second half, but he kept playing his ball game in terms of moving the basketball. 6 assists. Dalhousie assisted 13 of 21 field goals. And then this guy, Castro Lawrence, you know, he put his heart out on the line, missed the last shot, tried to win it at the buzzer for 3. Don't worry about that. He had a heart and soul game, 16 points, 8 rebounds, did what he does. A little more production here or there, a foul less here or there. Dalhousie be playing at 3. But both of these squads have a chance to win their last game, get a medal around their neck. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, is right now. We're going to send it over to our PA announcer, Chris Lydon, for pregame introductions and the national anthem.
For Jenning Leung. From Toronto, 6'6" guard, number 11, Michael Peterkin. Proud son of Dorval, 6'8" center, number 12, Noah Daou. And from Terrebonne, 6'6" forward, number 22, Francois Bourque. The head coach for McGill is David Taviro. The officials for today's game are Reed Kenyon, Reed Scott, and an official not named Reed, Tennis Kismic. Now, folks, please stand, remove your caps, and join José Champoux for the singing of our national anthem.
Well, it's the second final game of an excellent weekend of basketball right here at the Scotiabank Center in Halifax. The Dal Tigers, the hosts, they've put on a show for the home court fans each and every time they've hit the floor, and they take on a very good defensive-minded McGill Redmen team. Adam, this is actually a battle of two of the top defensive teams in the country. McGill second in points allowed, and Dalhousie ninth.
It's always interesting when you get these defensive matchups. It's like, which one's going to be the better offensive team? It's like they start focusing on different stuff almost to try to light it up and be the last team standing on the scoreboard. But it's going to be a physical matchup. Both these teams emptied the tank last night. I expect it to be a bit of a grind at the start in terms of getting loose, but then second half, even second quarter, I think we'll get into the flow.
As Sasha Kapos, the second-year center, getting the start today in place of Ryle Stroud, and he gets a steal. Ritchie Kanza early to attack today.
Yeah, early steal by Kapos, getting the start in place of Stroud. For Dalhousie, Ritchie drives, Leung swings through his head, gets a piece of him. You can see Ritchie was going to not allow himself to go scoreless again in the first half, as I mentioned, the opening. Asserting himself, knows as a fifth-year guy, he has to shoulder the load.
Kanza fouled out in the fourth quarter of yesterday's semifinal against the Ryerson Rams. And I know it was very tough for him to watch the end of that game from the bench.
Yeah, got hit with some fouls. You know, they didn't love the calls. That's how it goes in basketball. Other players need to step up and fill the role, but Ritchie gave it all when he was out there.
Now Jennings Leung, he knocks down his first shot of the game, and it's a triple. Jennings Leung has put on an excellent shooting performance. He had 13 yesterday in the loss to the Ravens.
Yeah, he's welcomed the basketball coming his way. He's seeing a lot more orange in his hands, and he's been stroking it.
Now Stammberger. Over for Kanza. 6 on the shot clock, and Dayu is going to pick up a foul trying to switch around the screen and stay with Kanza.
Well, what these games tell you, Alan, is who is the most competitive. Can you get your juices flowing? Does it matter to you to come out here and get a bronze medal? A medal's a medal for your program. You got to take step by step, climb each stair one at a time, and this would be a nice win for both of these teams.
As Lawrence now going at Francois Bourque, he can't finish. Here come the Redmen the other way. It's Leung. Looking to go backdoor for Peterkin, but the active hands of Stammberger knocks that one away. Now Reed. And Jared Reed going to be whistled for a foul. Good positioning there by Sebastian Beckett, and he's really impressed with his energy level off the Redmen bench.
Yeah, he's been up and down the floor, mixing it up, rebounding, getting in proper position defensively 9 times out of 10 down the floor. That was a great take. Stepped in, read the Jared Reed drive. Draws a Dalhousie turnover on the O foul.
Now Bourque, the versatile big man, former RSCQ MVP, but he gets trapped near half.
Dal going to stay aggressive early. They already have a McGill turnover in the last possession.
Peterkin, corner 3-ball, knocks it down, and hot shoots starting the basketball. 2 of 2 from range for the Redmen.
Yeah, Peterkin 11 points last night, and that's what happens for Dal when you start trapping high. You lose track on the back end in the scramble. That was a nice catch and shoot in rhythm.
Kanza gets it over to Kapos, baseline jumper, and that's something Sasha Kapos can do. 6'10", but he has a nice, soft shooting touch.
Yeah, Kappa's going to have a lot more asked of him next season when Castro, Lawrence, and company roll out of here. He's been very capable finishing around the rim, a good rebounder. Needs to put a little strength on, but that was a good shooting touch as well.
Leung's 3-ball off the top of the backboard and out of bounds. And now checking in for the Redmen comes Avery Cadogan.
Yeah, Ogundoka going to hit the bench here right away. You can tell just he's pushing himself a lot to get in these games on the championship side. If he's really hurting, we might not see heavy minutes from Delhi here tonight.
Kapos, handoff for Jared Reed. Another one of the Tigers' excellent 5th years. Kapos, same shot, different result, can't knock it down. Bourque with the rebound, and it will remain Redmen ball.
You see Dalhousie really looking to get these touches. Ritchie and Castro in particular, they're out there saying, we only have to empty the take one more time. Now we have an offensive foul on Leung. trying to get open for no reason at all. They were just able to dribble that ball over half. If he doesn't do that, puts two hands right in the chest of Kanza. So Dal pressure now forcing another turnover. Coach DeVario saying, what else do I have to do to get you to play discipline here?
Inbound here for Kanza, defended by Cummins, who just checked into the game. Kanza runner in the lane, no good. And here comes Peterkin in the red. Cadogan over for Peterkin. Now Cummins drives, has the pass deflected. And Kanza going to bring it the other way for Dalhousie.
That's the second time there's been high hands in that paint. Stammberger and Capos really using their length to get deflections.
Lawrence working his way inside, can't finish. Crafty move there by the 5th year of the Brampton, Casherelle Lawrence.
It's fun to watch the Cash G's will get downhill for one more game here. Didn't get that one to go, but that's what he does. He just kind of gets that body rolling. No one really wants to stay in front of that guy, and he's able to find some space to get shots off.
So 6-4 in the early going here of the bronze medal game at the USports Final 8 National Championships, brought to you by Arsler Middle Dofasco. Peterkin drives baseline, lots of contact, and he's going to head to the line to shoot two. And Michael Peterkin, another player who's impressed this weekend. Long player, guard skills in a 6'6" frame.
Skip pass, puts it on the deck immediately. Stammberger was just a half step behind reading that. Hit the outside shot, shows he has dribble penetration skills. As you mentioned, a long athlete, but he's fast for his size. Puts that to work.
Knocks down a couple from the line, pushes the Redmond lead up to 4. That's 5 quick points for Peterkin. Now Casherelle Lawrence. They go down in Tigers lore for his performances at the Scotiabank Center over the past couple years. Kanza gets it to Capos, and Capos throws it down, showing the soft touch, and now what he can do above the rim.
Well, McGill's not letting Dalhousie have that baseline cut. 2 Redmond jump to Casherelle Lawrence as he made the base cut. Ritchie looked for him, didn't see it, cutting right down the gut smartly with Sasha.
Oh, Cadogan inside, takes a bump, puts it up, can't get it to go.
Now he took that pass off the face, Allen.
As the shot clock expires, and that's going to be a violation on the Redmen.
They look a little disjointed, don't they? You know, just kind of not relaxing, or sorry, relaxing a little too much. Relenting to Dalhousie's pressure. I thought the second quarter might be the time for Dal. They've took only 5 minutes, and they're in full flight here on the defensive end already.
Tigers working around the perimeter. All 5 starters still in for the Tigers. The Redmen have gone to their bench early. Kanza on the dribble drive, puts it up, and he's fouled. He'll head to the line to shoot 2.
Great drive by Kanza. Cummins was draped inside his jersey, pulled it and hacked, and Kanza gets by him right away. You see, Cummins had the initial arm in the lane. He thought Kanza was going to just try a couple crossover dribbles. Instead, he just stepped right through. Don't waste dribbles if you don't have to. Get to the rack. Cummins wasn't expecting it.
As Kanza hits both free throws to tie it up at 8. Now we see a bit of the Tigers youth movement. A couple Dawson College Blues in Kevin Duong and Jordan Aquinu-Sergiu. And Aquinu-Sergiu was the AUS Rookie of the Year last year. And Coach Plato, obviously very familiar with the collegiate ranks, has a nice pipeline going up there at Dawson College.
Yeah, I mean, you spent 25 years in the CCAA. You're going to get to know the programs to watch, the coaches that are going to let you come in there and take kids to the next level. He's done that very well. Dawson's one of those places. Jordan Aquinu-Sergiu is a very capable scorer. He needs to get his game a little bit more under control off the dribble if he's going to start to be an efficient mover of the basketball and be an assist man. But he's got all kinds of talent.
As Lawrence picks the pocket, goes the other way, can't finish. On the follow is blocked by Beckett.
In between a layup and a dunk.
As Kanza now. Stammberger on the drive, and the shot clock expires, and That last take by Lawrence, you got to wonder about his legs. Obviously, he played 35 minutes yesterday, left it all on the court. Of course, their game against Alberta on Thursday night was also right down to the wire, so maybe fatigue a bit of an issue for the Tigers.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone in their natural form 3 days in a row doing anything at this level with this sort of physicality is going to wear on you. But that looks good. A tie game, but they've been the aggressor to start.
As the Dalhousie Tigers take it into the first time out, 8-8, tied up with the McGill Redmen in the bronze medal game. Take a look here at one of their buckets in the first. Sasha Kapos rising up, throwing it down. We'll be right back on TV1. Welcome back to TV1's coverage of the USports Final 8 bronze medal game between the McGill Redmen and the Dalhousie Tigers. And Sherrod Coos is a proud supporter of USports and Canadian student athletes. So all tied up here in the early going 8-8. Take a look there at the Tigers bench, and what a season for Coach Rick Plato and Dalhousie. Came up a little bit short in the semifinal last night, but here in the bronze medal match for the second year in a row at Nationals. And what a job Plato has done with the program.
It's fantastic, and those guys are coaching hard over there still. Plato inside the timeout, Coach Barry, Coach Wadden really working the guys coming out of there. They want this one bad. You mentioned being back in this game. Now you want to take that next step, as I said, and get the victory this time around.
Dal was defeated last year in the bronze medal game in Vancouver, 85-78 to the Ryerson Rams, who, of course, they met last night in what was one of the more exciting semifinals you'll ever see at this level of basketball. Aquinu Sergiu baseline jumper, can't get that one to rattle home. Peterkin with the rebound, and here come the Redmen. That's Daniel Pieper in off the bench. Third year forward out of Amsterdam. Now Pieper attacks the closeout, dishes it down low, and Francois Bourque doing the dirty work down low.
Bourque's another good cutter. He's a grinder type of guy. You mentioned former MVP of this McGill team. You can tell early on he had a huge opening night. This guy is an intelligent player. Good find from Pieper. Another miss from Dow.
Tough take by Stammberger. Peterkin comes the other way, and tall lineup out here for the Redmen. Pieper's three ball is off, but they've got four guys out there, all 6'6" or taller.
Yeah, controlling the glass, and guys who can move as well. Block shots, get deflections. This is why they're so good on defensively. They can put out a lineup like this.
Kanza Mata now. Look at Lawrence and Bourque, two excellent players battling down low, as Stammberger's three can't knock that one down. Now Isaiah Cummins, second year out of Oshawa, Ontario, gets it over for Beckett. Down low, and that's Michael Peterkin able to finish on the reverse.
He was down there forever before someone picked him up, just kind of hit out at the bottom of the paint. They finally got it to him.
As Stammberger whistled for the travel, and we see a wave of substitutions checking in. But look at Kanza Mata staying out there. He'll play this whole game if they let him.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy, he is bouncing around out there, talking through. He's finding guys for wide open shots. They haven't been able to knock any of them down yet, but he is in full competitive mode.
You know, it hurt Ritchie, such a competitor, to have to watch the final 3 minutes of yesterday's semifinal from the bench after fouling out, as here come the Redmen. And good job there by the Tigers to get that rebound against a very tall and active Redmen lineup.
Well, he's the guy that in that last minute, that last 10 seconds, when you want someone to have the basketball in their hands, it's Ritchie Kanza. And him not be able to do that is a big hurt for Dow.
As Peterkin gets the steal, and in transition, there's Kanza showing why he was a two-time AUS Defensive Player of the Year. Pokes it away from Peterkin.
Yeah, that's what he kind of started out as, this lockdown guy, moving around. See, he just kind of plays this one out. McGill does a decent job of not using the dribble, going pass. Didn't get the foul call that time. But Ritchie's a made man. You know, he spent time in the gym, turned his offensive game around, allowed him to be a full-on court general.
As Noah Dayu hits a slippery spot on the court. Now Kanza working the pick and roll. Oh, gives it down to Stroud. Great dish, but even better block from behind by Peterkin.
Well, what more do you have to do? You know, Kanza draws two guys, sets the table. Watch, just kind of like pulls. See how he does that fake down on his hip? Two pump fakes down there. By that point, you're getting stuffed. Go up strong, big man.
Kanza as Capos now on the reverse.
Capos does a fairly decent job of that. When he catches, he just gets it up on the glass. As a young guy, doesn't always make it. Sometimes it's a little too rushed, but he keeps the ball high and tries to stay aggressive. He has a high motor. That's why he gets playing time for Coach Plato at this stage in his career.
As Jared Reed checks back in for the Tigers as well. Deli Ogundokin, the RSEQ MVP and four-time Defensive Player of the Year.
What did that tell you?
Yeah.
Came into the league ready to defend physically. This guy is a specimen of strength, and he's been that way for a very long time.
First look here at a first-year point guard, Greg Trahan out of Gatineau, Quebec. Trahan averages better than 3 points per game in limited minutes this year for Coach Dave DeViro's Redmen. Here's Trahan, drives baseline, kick out for Peterkin. Peterkin attacks the closeout into the lane, puts it up. And there's Dayu on the tip. Gives the Redmen a 4-point lead here, 14-10.
That was such a hard-nosed guy, Alan. He missed some big threes at the top last night that would have helped McGill keep pace, but he's a warrior inside and out of the paint.
Aquinu Sergiu over now for Reed. Back for Aquinu Sergiu. Going at the freshman Trahan. Floater, can't get that to go off glass.
Uncharacteristic for Dal not moving the basketball. A lot of dribble for Aquinu Sergiu. Had to force one.
Peterkin, three ball, can't hit. Stroud with the board. And now with 36 seconds to go, the Tigers, looks like Coach Plato wants them to try and go 2 for 1. Stroud now on the block, working against Dayu. Kicks it back out, Leung, corner three ball, knocks it down, and Warren Leung, another guy who came back to Dal, actually used to be a former SMU Husky, spent the past couple years playing out in BC and now back on the East Coast, and he's made an impact off the bench for Coach Plato. Now the 2 seconds on the clock, Dayu puts it up and gets it to go, beats the buzzer with the three. Couldn't find that range yesterday, but Dayu hits it and gives the Redmen a 4-point lead heading into the break.
Yeah, nice shot from Dayu that time. Bailed out the possession. Daniel Pieper's getting an earful from Coach Dave right now on the way to the bench, kind of busted up that possession, but nice finish for McGill to finish the first quarter with the lead.
Well, it's a teaching moment in this bronze medal game for both coaches. Dave DeViro, Rick Plato, a couple of legends, as Noah Dayu hits the three to beat the buzzer and makes it 17-13. We'll be back with the second quarter on TV1.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Welcome back to 5 TV1's coverage of the 2017 USport Men's Final 8 Basketball Bronze Medal Game. And this broadcast brought to you in part by Wilson, the official basketball of USports and the Final 8. And right now we're going to take a look at one of the key performers in the first quarter for the Redmen, Michael Peterkin.
Talk about an all-around ball game to start. In one quarter, this guy's got 7 points. He drilled that three. Good ball movement for McGill, sharing it. Nice baseline cut, avoids Lawrence on one dribble. For 2, he's got 6 boards. And then check out this block. Again, Stroud gives him all kinds of time. Get out of there. Tells Stroud, you see the dejection on his face. Peterkin asserted himself, shot 50%, knocked down a 3 that we saw, was at the line 2 times. He has an assist to go with those 6 boards in a block. That was a good quarter. He's as advertised as a young stud in the McGill Redmond program.
Yeah, Peterkin now in his 4th year out of Toronto, 6'6". And this is a McGill team that, at least according to their roster, no 5th years. So they've got a few 4th years, including Peterkin, Leung, Ogundokin, Bourque. Really, they're key players. But if they bring back all these guys next year, watch out, they'll be making another run for it.
Yeah, their development program for these guys has been on track, moving them right along. Chance to be at the Nationals as 4th year seniors, as you mentioned, for some of these guys, which is a big key. If you can get here as a 5th year, you've been here before, done that, played 3 days. So this is a big plus. You know, it's interesting watching the McGill's coaching staff. Coach DeBarro gets them in the huddle, gives them a blast. He takes a break, assistant coaches step in, give them a blast. It's a real team effort in here. Keeps the guys on their toes. It's not only one voice. Team coaching, you see a lot of that from Carleton, obviously Rob Smart, but right down all their assistant coaches, everyone has a chance to pull the guys right up.
Now Stroud going to work on the block, and that time didn't hesitate, knew where he was going with it, and able to show off some of his back to the basket game. Trahan now drives baseline, kick out for Ogundokin. Now Peterkin dishes it over for Pieper. Good ball movement here by the Redmonds. 6 on the shot clock. Ogundokin's going to attack. Puts it up. That's well off. And that'll be Dow ball coming the other way.
Yeah, they get a little crowded. I think what they're trying to sort out right now is get guys in spots they want them to get touches. Dow was crowding the post. That time they're trying to bring Peterkin into the play.
You get a foul away from the ball. The 1st year, Greg Trahan trying to deal with the strength and craftiness of Ritchie Kanza here away from the ball.
Yeah, tries to curl and just holds on to his arm. But the thing that the young fella's got to remember is Ogundokin's still there in the back end. He's staying on help side. Even if Ritchie catches that one, he's going to meet another help side defender. You don't need to give away the early foul.
But Ryle Stroud picks up the quick offensive foul. And
yeah,
McGill's
Stroud. Sorry, Alan. I was just going to say for his last game, he's got to get focused. He's got to want to assert himself, put it all on the line. Smart basketball. That's what Coach Plato wants you to be, is a smart basketball player. He's only had a year of it at Queens, but by now it should have sunken in.
As Pieper turns that one over. As you mentioned, Ryle Stroud, the transfer, doing his MBA at Dalhousie after a solid 4-year career with the Queens Gales, and I know it meant a lot for him to get the trip to Nationals this year and not just be the token host, to actually make a run for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Came in as the champions. He gave them key reserve minutes this year for sure. Just had a tough tournament.
Peterkin on the offensive glass, continuing to show off his versatility. Ogundokin, kick for Dayu. Trahan, good ball movement here. Pieper down low, looks to shovel it and kick out. Ogundokin has to put it up and gets it to go. Probably a 10-pass possession there for the Redmen.
And how good did it look? Inside, outside, almost had a layup. Wasn't quite there, almost got blocked. Let's get a better shot. Ogundokin, full 24 seconds, 3 points.
Stroud now. And another foul coming this time against Trahan. He's having a tough time the 1st year.
Well, he's not anticipating it. I mean, you got to know Dal's going to run some action. He's trying to curl. Wow, that one. Jared Reed hits him initially. Thought he had a seal. He got worried. Then he held on. Dal's playing physical, man. You're a young guy, and then Dal's right in your face. It's not always easy to adjust.
Dave DeVero with some kind words and some good coaching for Trahan as he goes to the bench with 2 back-to-back fouls. Now Kanza, kick out for Reed. All 4 Dallas fifth-year seniors in the game right now as they want to finish their career with a national bronze medal. Cummins. Dayu over for Bourque. 8 on the shot clock now, Cadogan.
Reed a little bit at a stance that time, 2 hands in. Officials have done a great job of that this weekend. Is whenever you're beat, you got to kick your hands out. You see both of Reed's hands come to right on the hip of the dribbler. That's a nice pickup. You don't always see that called in the flow of a regular season or a physical ball game, but that's been a consistent one at Nationals, and it's really freed up the game. It's been a pleasure to watch this basketball.
Oh yeah, it's been high caliber basketball, very well officiated all weekend long. Big rebound there by Stroud off the missed layup by Cadogan. Now Kanza. 2015 is the score here in the bronze medal game of Nationals. Stammberger, his first shot of the game, can't get that to drop.
Yeah, he's been off tonight. 0 for 2 from 3. Hasn't got open. The screening action hasn't been quite what it's been. Kanza going to get called for the hold. He's right up in the face of the dribbler. Cummins has to deal with this guy as a senior. Let's check his arm. That's a clean pick. However, there's some early contact. He drew the attention of the official, and then maybe 1 poke too many for his liking. Ritchie 4 of 4 from the line, 2 assists, 1 rebound. Again, not lighting it up, but keeping his team exactly in the ballgame.
Well, as the Dal Tigers take a timeout, we're going to step aside for a quick break. Deliogandokin and the Redmen lead 2015 here at the bronze medal game. We'll be right back on TV1.
Is that 5 TV?
Oh, you know it, man.
With ultra stunning 4K picture quality.
I love using Restart.
I use that all the time.
We love having Crave TV and Netflix right on it.
I'm having all my TVs set up wirelessly. It's amazing.
Can you imagine some people still don't have 5 TV?
I don't have it. Because I was living abroad.
With so many reasons to love 5 TV, it's time to make the switch to the best TV service.
Welcome back to 5 TV1's coverage of the 2017 USports Final 8, brought to you in part by Arsler Middle Dofasco. Our product is steel, our strength is people. Arsler Middle Dofasco. And Adam, so far a well-played first half between 2 defensive-minded teams, but there have been some offensive highlights. Let's take a look.
Yeah, teams have had to have some really nice offense, bail themselves out of some tough possessions. We've seen both teams go right into the tail end of the shot clock. That time, Dayu knocked one down, end of a clock. That was the end of that 9 or 10 pass possession, right at the buzzer at the shot clock. Ogundokin knocks it down. You see Dalhousie having to take some contested ones as well. Leung's a 3-point shooter. Good close down that time by Pieper. Better shot by Leung. Having guys score when they have to work for it is just as impressive as a defensive stop for these teams. You know, it's one thing to have grit and rely on defense, but you don't get to the Nationals not scoring the basketball. You don't get here not having offensive discipline and spacing and strategy. These coaches are both known for that as well, been around the block. Again, these teams aren't in the bronze medal game by chance. They had to fight to get here, and they're in a fight to win it.
And they both put up a fight yesterday on semifinal Saturday against the top 2 teams in the country, Carleton and McGill. And don't forget, they'll be meeting later today, 2 p.m. on Sportsnet 360. Should be a great one. As the Redmen come out with a bucket, and that time, Ogundokin showing why he's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, able to block the 6'10 Capos.
He got up there very quickly.
That's Bourque down low off the feed from Ogundokin, and right now the Redmen on a bit of a run.
Bourque was the first man down the floor after being the last guy from McGill under the rim. Got himself open. Nice two-way play for the Redmen.
As Stammberger step back, can't hit it. This game was tied up at 12, so it's a 12-3 run right now for McGill, as the offense has really dried up for the Tigers.
Well, the lane's been shut off for the Tigers in the middle. When they're getting these drop-off passes, they're low ones, tough to handle, getting blocked. Meanwhile, McGill's catching them right at the rack. No resistance at all for these passes, an easy finish.
Francois Bourque, he's up to 6, and I don't think he's had a play called for him. It's all just those second chance, gritty, finding spots in the defense.
Well, that's great because, you know, they got some other elite guys they're running sets for, and if he makes something when things don't go well, you need those type of players.
Cummins now kicks it out for Dalhousie. 3 balls too long. Bourque showing some great hustle again. Not happy with the call. It's going to be Dalhousie ball.
Well, he poked that straight out of bounds. Not sure how he's not happy with it. But Stroud's going to come in for Capos. Nice look at Bourque there. And don't get us wrong, they're running some stuff for Francois Bourque. He's the man. He has lots of skills. But when his number's not being called, he's just as dangerous.
Now Kanza spins away. Lawrence. Kick out Stammberger, corner 3 ball, rims out, and the Tigers really struggling to score. Only 2 points here in the second quarter, and we're halfway through.
Well, you see that's the nature of it. Kind of shut off in the lane, having to settle for these outside jump shots. They need some rhythm stuff like this. Try to bust it up at the defensive end. They need to up their intensity down here. A little casual by Ogundokin that time through the back. And as he's pursuing it, Dalhousie held him up a little bit. The officials picked that one up.
As Dalhousie whistled for his second personal, he'll go to the bench. Sebastian Beckett checks back in. As well, Matt McVeigh will get his first action for the Tigers.
McVeigh had a good game last night. I thought in the first night in the quarterfinal, his minutes were not quite as effective. The moment seemed a little big for him. Came in last night, was very, very solid at both ends of the floor. Spelled his team who was in foul trouble. Very impressed by this young man.
Yeah, McVeigh last night hit 1-3, 1 of 3, 3 points, but also some good defensive minutes against some very, very talented Ryerson guards. Now Lawrence down low, goes up, off glass, too strong. Ryle Stroud now, and he has it stripped. And Stroud once again just brought the ball down a little low, hesitated a little bit before going up for the second chance.
And part of that is the pass. You got to feed your big man, you know, where he can have it in his pocket and keep it up there. Stroud does bring it down himself. It's another foul for Dow, but I don't mind. You know, you got to start mixing it up here a little bit. Take a couple fouls. You had one to give there. Next one's in the penalty, but it's not, doesn't have a Tigers feel of the game, does it, Al? You know, we've done a lot of these guys. They're not busting up plays. They don't have the bench up. They don't have that rhythm going. But once they catch the momentum, they can get moving in a hurry. See if they can do that.
Well, they might have found their defensive match here in the McGill Redmen.
Right.
The second best defensive team in the country. And McGill, they held Manitoba to 23 points in the second half of their quarterfinal. Now Beckett underneath and able to finish it. It's all going McGill's way right now. Opened up a 14-point lead.
Well, they're well on the way to a similar half, holding down to that sort of number here. Again, that's not easy to do against any squad, let alone the team that's been in back-to-back bronze medal games in the Dow Tigers.
Stammberger drives the lane and finally gets something to go, ending a 5-minute scoring drought. Stammberger, that's where his game's gotten so much better, attacking the basket.
Yeah, it's been great. He's not only a standstill shooter anymore. Every year he comes back with a new tool in his box to do. This year it was putting it on the deck to complement that self-made three-point shot.
Peterkin over now for Bourque. Bourque spins and is whistled for the travel.
Every possession right now, McGill has an urgency from their bench. You know, they had about 5-6 stops in a row. They get in one layup by Stammberger. Coach Dave is literally hopping up and down, steaming mad. That's the discipline that makes them be a defensive match for any ball club, as you just mentioned.
And there, Ogundokin whistled for the block.
Oh, this is a close one, Al. Let's check this out. He tries to jump this and anticipate. Steps out. Oh, he takes that one. That's tough. That could have went either way. That's literally 50-50, that one right there.
And those are two strong guys running into each other in Casherel Lawrence and Dele Ogundokin.
That's Mack truck meets a B train on the highway. Look out with those two guys. Nice to see them both okay. Ogundokin, despite the injury, still laying his body on the line. This guy is a warrior. Stepping up in here tonight, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 for 4, not forcing his offense. This guy's had a nice first half.
So let's take a look at some of this action here in the second quarter. Stroud down low. That was one of just a couple bright offensive moments for the Tigers. Ogundokin beats the shot clock buzzer from range. And here, Cummins gets it over for Ogundokin, finds Bourque down low, and once again, Bourque just doing the dirty work. Here he is again.
Well, just check how open this lane is for Dalhousie. There's bodies in there, but they're standing around, out of stance. A lot of these passes in the paint on the baseline. Watch Beckett cut right behind Lawrence. Doesn't see him yet. That's a crafty cut. But you know, all of that stuff has been, where's been the camera focus? Right in the blue paint. They haven't proved anything of shutting that down. McGill hasn't felt pressure from the perimeter. A lot of those passes, sometimes, you know, when cutters are getting in there, you guarding the basketball have to do a better job of getting in a guy's face. Make that pass harder to do. Remember earlier in the ball game when it was Capos and Stammberger were very big. Any pass through there were getting deflected. The guards were pinching in the paint, picking those off, coming down the other way in transition. None of that anymore. Seems like the life is out of Dalhousie on the back end of the defense.
As the Tigers come out of the timeout looking for a spark, as McGill's currently on a 17-5 run to open this up to a 12-point game. But there's Sven Stammberger once again driving on Bourque and finishing with the right hand.
Well, they spaced the floor very well that time. Got it to Sven in a position where help couldn't come. Excellent attack. And
now
there's a turnover.
The Tigers come out in a zone press, and that's going to force Dave DeViro to call a timeout. 1 turnover, and he doesn't like what he sees.
Yeah, it's a smart timeout both ways. Stammberger caught that one a little higher that time, but got himself together.
As Sven Stammberger showing off the inside game, driving the lane, and
well, tried to attack the second time initially. The first one, he got it right away. We'll get a look at these for Sven. You see they get it to him there. Boom, just quick dribble, 2 long steps, finish. Nice find there, good recognition. This time gets cut off just like an old guard. Gives him a little hesitation on the left hand. Goes to the other side of the floor, and then they bring some full court pressure here. 2-1-2, Lawrence on the back end, picks it off. They come down, get another hoop, and like you said, McGill goes right to the timeout.
so a bit of positive energy from the Tigers there coming out of the timeout on a 4-0 run.
Well, Coach Plato's done this so well all weekend in knowing when to push the buttons of the full court pressure. He's done a great job of keeping it on and off, not for long as well, keeps teams off balance. You don't see a lot of zone from Dalhousie. That's not really in his makeup. If you do see it, they often switch back to man for the last 10 seconds of the shot clock, that sort of thing. But knowing your ball club as a coach is so key to know what the guys can and can't do. A lot of teams can't just play 18 minutes of kind of lackluster man-to-man and then go bang, 2-1-2 and have something come out of it. They can't flip the switch like that. This Dalhousie team can. Coach Plato said in all the interviews all week that he puts pressure on these guys day in, day out to respond, and that's why they can do that just on a dime and flip that switch.
As Dal nearly forces another turnover with the press, McGill just barely able to get it over. Ogundokin. Beckett brings a screen, shot clock down to 5, and McGill hasn't even gotten inside the 3-point line. Here's Ogundokin. Oh, pretty take there as the shot clock winds down, and that's the bit of star power from the RSEQ MVP taking over late in the shot clock.
And good movement to get it to the weak side of the floor, and the flare let Ogundokin put it on the dribble. Great help from Beckett that time.
Quinu Sergiu with the jumper, and the Montreal native, got to think he's got a little something on the line. Probably played against a lot of these guys growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to have some personal motivation in any game, and now they get an 8-second violation.
So right now, everything going the Tigers' way, and the crowd is starting to come alive here at the Scotiabank Center as well. Has supported the Tigers very well all weekend long, and Coach Dave Diaviro trying to coach his young guard Cummins.
Well, the back end of that, in terms of offensively heading down the court, is crowding the guards. They're staying up too high. They got to get down the court, stay there, stretch out the press, give them some room to pass and dribble.
Stammberger now taking it to the outside. That one just rimmed out. Now Cummins brings it over half. Burst of speed to the rim. Ends up in the hands of Bourque. Can't finish, but he's fouled. Heading to the line to shoot two.
Well, here's another consistent thing that players need to adjust to, is if you're taking a charge and you're inside the charge circle, you're getting a no call. You're taking yourself out of the play. If you're in the charge circle, you're better off holding your ground. Stammberger, he was outside at that time, but he took it to the side of his shoulder. If that was going to be anything, it was going to be a blocking foul. So it ended up working out, serendipitous for McGill. Bourque gets the foul, and it's Stroud second. But I think McGill's keeping on downhill. They're not discouraged by this pressure at all. You saw the take by Ogundokin get down the left side. That was a dribble down the middle of the paint. They're going to keep on coming. Dalhousie's going to have to keep up their defensive pressure now to cut into this 10-point lead.
1:20 remaining in the first half of this bronze medal game here at the USports Final 8. Stammberger drops it off for Kapos, and nice big-to-big pass in there, and Stammberger really attacking the rack with aggressiveness.
Well, he knew they were going to come turn him off at some point. Drew some help. Kapos the beneficiary.
Shot clock down to 10 here. Bourque, high post. Couple dribbles, gets it over to Cummins. Cummins has it poked loose by Quinu Sergiu and throws him away. And that'll be a foul coming against Cummins.
Quinu Sergiu underneath the scorer's table with hustle. Stepping in, pokes it away from Cummins. He gets held off. Nice job.
.44 seconds remain in this second quarter. Tigers trail by 8. They were down as many as 15. Now Quinu Sergiu. Kapos brings the screen. Ogundokin switches on. Quinu Sergiu now has it poked loose, gets it back, tough looking fadeaway jumper. Can't finish, and Beckett did a good job to keep Lawrence off the board. Here come the Redmen, and they're gonna hold for one with 15 seconds left on the clock and the shot clock off. Cummins, second-year guard out of Oshawa, was an all-rookie team in the RSEQ last year. Oh, nice no-look dish, great passing there, but just can't finish on a couple chances down low.
Great finish on a play. Drive it in there. What's been open? The baseline pass. They hit it. Two Tigers come. Beckett cuts down the lane, blows the layup. Bit unfortunate that they couldn't get points there. But we knew it was going to be a grinder. Hold down 25 points. McGill efficient in there, 33. They've done well, 12 of 24, 50% from the field, 45% from behind the arc. It's been a good first half for the Redmen.
And the Tigers also bringing some defensive effort. 10 turnovers they forced. And offensively, still trying to get some things going, but here's one thing they got going. It's Sasha Kapos off the tasty dish from Stammberger and the finish. We'll be back with the second half right here on TV1.
It's always intimidating when you look at the oval and you're like, I gotta go around this thing fast. I put all these hours in just to run 47 seconds and then die at the end. The desire to win and not wanting to lose to the guys beside you pushes you that extra mile. I never show up to the line to lose. I always come with the mentality that I want to win this thing. Wearing the Toronto across my chest is huge. This is where I grew up. Drake, the Six, we all get really hyped up about representing. Some mornings where I have to wake up at like 6 a.m. to go down to class in Scarborough, so that I'm able to go to work at like 11 a.m. and work from 11 to 5, and I'll have like a little half-hour block to then get to practice. And by the time you get home, you're just like, you eat, shower, and you're ready for bed. I really want to excel on the track. I really want to excel in school, but I need money. And then I also want to have some friends, right? So the toughest part is being able to excel in all 4 categories.